What's up guys, my name is Soulless Baby, and today I want to talk about the current drop rate fiasco going on in Anthem. So for anybody that doesn't know, twice now something has broken within Anthem and caused a drop rate of Masterworks and Legendaries to literally rain loot. Now I missed the first one of these, but I did catch the second glitch, and it legitimately did rain loot. I got like 6 Masterworks in one stronghold, and that wasn't a rare occurrence, it happened multiple times. And it felt awesome. Now, one of them were kind of helpful, and the rest of them were pretty much nothing in duplicates, but still, in a game like Anthem, it actually made me enjoy the game more to see all these Masterworks coming out. And when they reverted the changes the next day, with the patch, it just left me a little bit let down. Now, there's people arguing both sides of this, and for a lot of games, I totally understand the drop rate arguments. You know, there's a fine line between too much and not enough. You don't want to break the economy by giving them too much, and you don't want to completely bleed them dry by not letting them have enough fun with the game with their drops. But for Anthem, I really don't think that argument applies as much, at least right now, just because of the way loot is and how everything rolls with the amount of intricacy that it has. And the idea of getting a god roll on a piece of gear is basically a pipe dream, even with an increase to drop rates, because of the amount of RNG layers that you have to go through. It's actually multiple layers before you even get to the percentages. So being that I actually had someone argue this with me, that the drop rates were fine, I went to Reddit, which is where I usually go, and found this sweet post showing you how it is literally not fine, like at all. This post was made by Real Celsius, I hope I'm saying that correctly. So big thank you to him for doing all the hard math so my brain doesn't hurt. Basically, let me talk through it all real quick. He did some really cool algebra stuff, and it looks like this. If you want to not read through all that because your math is just as bad as mine, I had somebody smarter than me explain it to me, so here we go. There are 47 possible Masterwork items, and for the purposes of this equation, we're just going to assume that every drop you have ever is always a Masterwork, which we all know that it isn't. Then he put in 15 inscriptions per slot. There's actually more than that. There's 4 slots, so he did it to the 4th power. Now, there is way more than 15 inscriptions, like I said, so this number is varying, but he did it for simple math. That number comes out to 50,625, just in that slot. And that does not take into account any of the conscriptions having a different percentage. That takes us to the actual solving of the equation, which comes out to this tiny little decimal. That's 4 100,000ths of a percent. Not even kinda close to a full percentage. This number is kinda hard to wrap my tiny little head around, so I did some checking. National Geographic says that you have a 1 in 3,000 chance of being struck by lightning in your lifetime. That's this decimal. You literally have thousands of times of a better chance of getting struck by lightning at some point during your time on this planet than to get a specific roll on an item in Anthem. I don't know about you guys, but that is insane. I did some more checking, and your odds of winning the lottery in any given state in the United States is only marginally worse than getting a god roll in Anthem. Now, this is all without taking any of the percentages in the game into account. Now, what I mean by that is this is just assuming you get the roll that you want, like weapon damage, javelin damage, gear damage, whatever. This isn't taking into account that that percentage on that inscription might just be a plus 3%, and you want a plus 100%. If you add in all that nonsense, your chances go way down. So the fact that you can only get 1, maybe 2 Masterworks for all your efforts is just insane. Now that's an average, obviously you're going to have big time strongholds, and other ones you're not going to get anything, but for the most part, I think we all average about 1 or 2. So no, I'm sorry, I don't feel the need to validate anyone that the loot drops are okay right now. If you feel that way, then I don't mean to insult you in any way, but you have the patience of a saint or love this game and all that it stands for, which is fine, but for the vast majority, myself included, we can't be okay with it. Especially if you're just a regular guy who plays 20 hours a week and you have a job or something like that. You don't even really have a shot at getting a god roll. Now, all that math set aside, this has literally caused an uproar in the community. Every single post on Reddit is calling for the drops to be buffed, and we have gotten one comment out of them at the time of writing this, and it's on Twitter from Chad Robertson. Let me quote here. "We appreciate all the feedback from the community on the game. We love the passion and share it. We're not yet fully happy with the game's loot behavior either." He goes on to say, "In the next few months, we're expecting to make significant changes, but we're starting with some incremental ones so we can better navigate that evolution. Our goal is to ensure the best possible player experience. Now, that's all well and good, but I've got some news for Chad, and I am not alone here. You don't have months to fix that. A lot of people are not going to put months into this game because of it. Now, I'm not just saying that. There's literally a protest going on right now that has a lot of traction. The upvotes alone are in the 10,000s, and it's just getting bigger, and the comments are surprisingly positive. A lot of people are doing it. Basically, what's happening is that people are going to log off of Anthem and not play as a form of protest from the 11th to like the 15th. And a lot of people are behind this because as a live service, BioWare needs players to make this work. I mean, can you imagine Anthem if it didn't have a player base to matchmake you with? Unless you had 3 friends all the time that wanted to play, you really wouldn't be able to get through anything. And at the same time, BioWare has kind of built this system around the fact that people are going to play it, and they're going to spend money on cosmetics so they can keep their DLCs free. EA has a habit of killing games that don't perform well, especially in those kind of categories. Just look at Battlefront. So this game cannot survive a player apocalypse. It's just not going to work. But the point of all this is, if people are going to that length to get your attention, BioWare, why not just give them what they want? I mean, I know stuff is hard to develop, but if it broke and it made it happen, and you fixed it, that tells me you know exactly how to control the masterwork faucet, and you can turn it on from a flow to a drip whenever you want to, just like every other developer can for their game. So don't give me that BS of we don't know how to do it. Nobody should be able to take that. Now, I'm not hoping that this game dies. I really do love it. I actually want to play it, and I want it to do well. I don't want it to go down in flames, but I don't see it going very far, especially with games like The Division looking so good right now, and it fixing its loot problem that it had before. Why not take the advice of other developers like Diablo's that literally made a post at you trying to get you to do something with your game so you didn't run into the same issues that they had before they fixed their problem. That's pretty much my take on this, and that's what I wanted to get across. I still think the game has a lot of potential, but like I said, The Division is looking really good right now. If they don't do something soon, they're going to lose a huge amount of their player base, and I really don't want to see that happen. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like this video, it really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel for future Anthem content, and with that guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.